Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Greg here. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest epidemics I have seen in American culture recently, and that is where people are spending more and more on credit cards for Christmas gifts. It's insane to me, the fact that people are spending outrageous amounts of money on Christmas, and regardless of how much money they're actually spending, that is not the problem. The problem is they are putting it on credit cards with 30+% interest rate. And so I want to talk about that in today's video. So there was a study done where the average American, and by the way, this includes people that spend absolutely nothing and like way more than this, the average American spends about $1,012 this holiday season. In 2024, that's what people are spending. A goal I have for 2025 is to open up a high yield savings account to put money in to save for that coming Christmas. And so one mature way to know that you're actually winning with money is, are you setting money aside for things that you know are going to happen? Christmas comes the same day every single year. It's coming, so why not plan for it? And so when you break it down into these little small chunks, it actually becomes a lot more possible to afford this big purchase, instead of all of your numbers in December being thrown out the window. And then you're starting 2025 off with debt, you're starting 2025 off behind, and you might not actually hit your goals because you did not plan for it. And so whatever happened in 2024, whatever happened this year, completely forget about it. You're probably gonna have to pay it off, because I know most of you put it on credit cards, but that's fine. Let's start 2025 and let's build a better, richer life tomorrow. And so let's talk about this. Let's say you add, if this year it was 1,012, let's say you add another 15%, because maybe you're gonna have more people in your life that you're gonna wanna buy gifts for. Inflation, stuff's just, of course, gonna cost more. Maybe, everybody's getting older, so maybe they want something a little bit nicer, a little bit bigger, whatever the reason may be. Let's kind of talk about that. So let's say you add 15% extra, $1,163.80. And let's say, let's round it to 1,175, just for, even math, even numbers. I like keeping it simple. And so whatever it might be, to whatever average you spend, and you can adjust whatever number you want. But let's assume that technically, if this was anything else, you could break it down by all 12 months. But realistically, you're not going to be able to do that, because starting in November, you're actually going to start buying those gifts for people. So realistically, you actually have from January all the way up to October. And so that's 10 months. And so let's say you're saving $1,175 divided by 10, that's $117.50 a month, which when I break it down like that, actually seems a lot more reasonable. For most of us, we're spending more on water and electric than we are on Christmas gifts. So instead of having one giant purchase that we're going to be putting on credit, we can actually have this money set aside. It can be growing a little bit in interest, whatever it might be. Realistically, you might only put $110 or $100. That's still $1,000 by the time Christmas rolls around, where it's earmarked. It's set aside so that you have that money set up to spend on Christmas. And so I know this year we might have all gone a little bit crazy. I know I spent a lot more than I was planning on. I'm just kidding. I'm the YouTube guy. I did end up spending a little bit more than I was planning on. But the other thing is, I have it in my budget. I have that money in my budget set aside, earmarked to be able to go purchase things like this. And so sometimes things come up, and we totally get that on this channel. We want to be realistic about personal finance, but life is going to go up and down. Things are going to change, but how you handle it is the important part. And so broken down by week, if let's say you're doing $117.50 per month broken down, that's about $30 a week, give or take. And so you could technically set up an easy Christmas account and use that money consistently and save it consistently so that you can be generous later on. And so I know this is kind of a quicker video, but really it is that simple. We have that study where they spent over $1,000 on credit cards, and that's what the average American is spending for their Christmas. And honestly, that's a lot lower than I thought it was, but to each their own. But I want to also encourage everybody that this Christmas and next Christmas, if you're buying gifts for somebody, and just as a whole, let's consider something. If you're making $50,000 a year and you go and spend $5,000 on gifts, well, I think that's beautiful. That is a lot of money. That's 10% of your pre-tax income. And so let's kind of consider that. How much are you using to be generous? And again, this is Christmas gifts. This is not including investing, saving, tithing, whatever you might be doing else with your money. You need to include that, because Christmas gifts are not the only way to give, nor is that the only thing you need to be worried about. And so Christmas, while I want to be overly generous and I want to always spend a little bit more than we think we can when it comes to being generous, you need to have yourself taken care of first. If you're giving up investing and you're giving up saving money and you're giving up tithing and you're giving up, different things like that, maybe you need to consider that before you're actually being overly generous on the holidays, because the best gift you can give the people in your life is making sure that you are taken care of first. And so I'm not saying go buy yourself a Gucci bag or whatever, but I am saying make sure you're setting money aside for taxes, you're setting money aside for investing, you have a healthy savings account, whether that's an emergency fund, savings for whatever you might have going on, plenty of buffer in all of your checking accounts, whatever it might be. You have a healthy financial situation before you go spending absorbent amounts of money for that one helicopter that you're going to buy your nephew and he's going to break in 5 minutes, which is, again, okay. But I just want to kind of throw that here at the end of the video to at least be conscious of where your money is going. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have enjoyed, drop a like and comment down below what I should talk about next, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios.